Welcome back. So let's start talking about WPF now. It's for Windows Presentation Foundation, and it's about making cool applications using something called XAML behind the scenes. It's XAML. So it's a form of XML code. It's an application markup language, a Microsoft variant of XML. So let's start out by thinking, what's XML? Well, XML is pretty much just two different tags. Let me try and show you some basic XAML here. This is actually XAML, right? So it's a button. Let me just zoom here. So you're explaining here, there's going to be a button here. It's going to have some information, this button. So let's scroll down. It's going to have this text. It's going to have this font. So XML or XAML in our case is just a way for us to write text that can then be compiled to machine language. I hope that makes sense. Now the cool thing here is I can read it. It's human readable. That's really, really nice. So in this case, I can read, there's a button, it's going to have a font with bold, and the content is going to be a button. So it's going to write a button on the button. I'm going to show you this in a second. But notice that I can take all of this and just put it directly into my WPF application. So without further ado, let's try to build our first application. I'll jump back to this page later to show you some of the power of it. But right now let's get into our application here, and my spam application, I'm going to add a new project, and it's going to be a WPF project. So just like when you add any other project, in here there's something called WPF application under Windows. So I'll add that, and I have to give it a name, and we're going to call it Person Manager WPF. Like that. I'll do an OK, and now it creates this new application for me. And the first thing I do is I'll go in and I'll right click it and say set as startup project, because then I don't forget that. That's just nice. Now here we go. It already loaded this for me, so let me shut down everything else just to only show you that one. I can right click this guy and say close all but this, and it'll remove everything. Here's our application. Beautiful. Let's just start it and see what we got. This is just a basic application that pops up. I haven't done anything yet. I've just created the first WPF application, nothing else. It's loading the designer, it's starting the application, and here we go. A very, very simple Windows application, nothing really scary there. You've seen this a million times probably in one or the other form. Let me shut it down again. So that's a WPF application. Now if you've tried WinForms before, you'll see quite a different view here than what you're used to in WinForms. Because here you have a designer in the top, and then here's the scary part. You have some XAML in the bottom. And let me just go down there to show you that. Scroll up here. So this is actually the code, guys. So this is the code that creates this view up here, right? So let's say I wanted to make the window bigger. I would just like 500 here and maybe 700 here, and I'll save it, and boom, you notice the change up here right away. Awesome. So I'm telling you, writing the text down here will make the change in the view up there right away, so you can see what you're actually doing. What about the button? We had a button before. Let's try and pull that button in. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this text here from my tutorial site, and I'll just paste it in directly. Notice how cool it is. I can freaking paste ISIM directly into the code. Now this might have been a bad choice because the button looks kind of crazy, this huge button here, but I just wanted to show you how simple it is to actually copy paste stuff directly into my code. Right? So I'll save this and I'll run it again. Now I have some kind of huge freaking ugly button, but it's there, right? It was a single copy paste and click, click, click. There's the button. Happy days. Everything is running. Let's make something more. So notice this is a button, right? When I go away, it kind of, and I can click it, click, 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 click. Let me shut it down. So now you have an idea about where to find information, and you know how to make your first WPF project. Now let's try and make it something real with a real layout and a real list. See you next time.